It was a really nice week running up to the final, to be honest. Usually we're in the eliminator or the extra game or the playoff, and to qualify straight for the final, get relieved a bit of pressure. We got a trip to Scarborough because that's where we were going to play the eliminator game if we had to play it, so we still used those facilities and had a nice trip away to the beach for a couple of days, which I think actually worked out really well for us. You know, we got to have an overnight stay away as a team again, go enjoy Scarborough because we all love that ground, and just really relaxing, just focusing on ourselves. That was the main thing. I think we've thought too much about oppositions in the past, and we just got to prepare ourselves, not think about who we were playing, because at that stage we didn't know. So it was just a great week's build up.
I was extremely nervous, to be honest. I remember sitting down, eating some breakfast, doing Wordle, which is something that I do every morning, and from breakfast you could see Lord's Cricket Ground because we were staying so close to it. And yeah, I didn't think I would be as nervous as I was for the build-up and eating my breakfast, but I suppose I was, and it was a big day for us.
I got to play in the 100 once, so I was lucky that I didn't have the gravitas of that on me the first time I played at Lord's. But we just really emphasised as a team, we're going to enjoy this. How often do you get to play at Lord's, especially as a female team, especially as a female domestic team? No one's played at Lord's so far, so it was just enjoy it and take everything in that you can. We told the younger ones, like, you know, on your way to the ground, make sure you're just taking it all in, and when you get there, before you start your prep, allow yourself to have that moment and take in how great it is that you're at Lord's, because it's something a lot of people would kill to be in your position. So it was just like being a fan for the morning before business started.
I'm a bit bottom heavy
People were trying to hide the nerves a little bit, because we all do it, because we don't want other people to click on that we're nervous. But there was a few nerves around the group, and I think that's natural, that's normal, and it just shows people care.
It was lovely to wake up and it wasn't raining. Obviously you worry when it's a back end of September fixture, you think what's it going to be like, it's going to be freezing, but sun was shining, the glorious Diamonds flag was waving away in that blue sky, which was a lovely sight to see, and we thought it was just going to be a good day for cricket. We didn't have to think about Duckworth Lewis or anything like that coming into it, or sometimes later on in the season you do have to think about maybe weather's going to come into it, but we just knew that it was going to be a lovely day and to enjoy some cricket at Lord's.
Well, we'd watched obviously the game before, the England game that played the day before, and we knew that the wicket was probably going to be a little bit tough. And obviously at Lord's there's a big slope, a lot of people hadn't played at Lord's before, so we knew that was going to influence the batters and the bowlers in terms of their setup and where they are at the crease. But yeah, there was a few overhead conditions. We knew that the sun was going to come out. We're in London, the sun always shines in London, doesn't it? So yeah, we were happy with the conditions, and we were very happy to have a bat first.
I think Lord's is obviously one of the most special grounds that you'll ever play at, you'll ever be involved at. Yeah, it's just, you know, the whole experience of being there and walking in for the first time, and for players who have obviously never been there, and it's just about soaking it all in. I think it's such a special place to be, and you know, the girls are really excited turning up the day before, and then kind of having a look around, and I was kind of taking that out of it, and then so when it turned up on the day, it was just, you know, a normal day, as normal as it could be, and then just get on with the business.
And the best day of my life, like.
I'm glad I started that.
Got all that, didn't he?
We'd obviously had a really good season. We deserved to be in the final, and the rest of it is just trying to make things as normal as we possibly could. It was the walk probably from the changing room down to the pitch. That's something I told everybody to make sure you do that before you go out to bat, whichever it was the day before or on that day, just to kind of get used to it, because not often do you walk out to bat through the long room down past the members and onto Lords. So it was just kind of taking that initial worry out, and but I think it is obviously very special, and the girls, they did take it in the stride, and it was really good.
Isaac first, then 3 groups for fielding. Can I have the 12 fielding, please? Okay, off you go.
Come and grab.
Just about trying to make the day as normal as we could, but obviously just embracing where you were. You expect people to be, a little bit more excited, a little bit more jittery. There's the day before we tried to get all the pictures out the way, because everyone wants a picture at Lords with a long room behind them and the pavilion behind them. But I think it was you can't block it out. You shouldn't ignore it. It's a special day and it's a special occasion. It's just the team that kind of dealt with that emotion the best was going to come out on top. And I can't really remember at all what I said, but if they couldn't get up for that game, they were never going to up for any game. Whatever I said wasn't really going to matter at that point. It was just about, again, controlling your emotions on the day and just embracing it.
Please welcome the match officials and the 2 teams, the Southern Vipers and the Northern Diamonds.
I think we had an incredible start. Like I said, we did what we wanted at the toss, even though we lost it, and Lauren and Lindsay put on a really good partnership to set the tone for us, and we knew that was going to be a really difficult patch of batting for them, and how they got us through the power play. And I think we didn't lose a wicket until maybe the 18th or the 20th over, so that was the best partnership we'd ever had as an opening unit, so that set the tone for us really well.
Shot. Leaning into that Winfield Hill. Finding the gap through the covers and the first boundary of the final.
Yeah, obviously a really good start from Loza and Lindsay. Built a really good foundation for us.
Short and whipped away. Not that short though, Winfield Hill makes the most of it.
From what I can remember, we had a steady start as always with Loz. She's been an absolute rock up the top of the order, so I'll admit I was sat on the balcony looking out a bit nervous, thinking I just hope Loz stays there. She's done so well all season and she deserves to have another innings, and you feel so confident when she gets some runs on the board and a good start.
Oh, that's nicely timed by Lauren Winfield Hill, continuing her good form with the bat. Again, very nice timing, and that's what you were speaking about, Dominic. Lauren Winfield Hill being able to put away poor delivery, really, a full toss outside. Oh, nicely worked through the gap for Lauren Winfield Hill.
Lindsay struggled up until that point opening the batting with her, but she stuck with her, and I think it's probably their best opening partnership of the comp, which is always a timely manner to do it, and I think it just gave everyone a moment to breathe and then come in and do their roles as we've practiced all year. So it was a relaxing start.
More powerfully struck down the ground, that's what she's been searching for, Lindsay Smith, and this time everything was good.
Really well played. Dangerous perhaps, the ball spinning away from the left-hander, but enough on it to reach the boundary.
That'll be 50 for Lauren Winfield Hill. She is having a magnificent season for the Diamonds, reaching the milestone in 74 balls. She knows what it takes to win big games of cricket here at headquarters. World Cup winner in 2017.
Caught and bowled.
We lost a couple of quick wickets.
Charlotte Taylor makes the breakthrough. She tossed it up that little bit higher, tempting Lindsay Smith.
To be honest, I thought this is typical Diamonds. Wickets are tumbling in a final and I'm going to have to go in and do something again.
Well, you wanted a wicket, you got a wicket.
It's one of them things, isn't it? We've got a lucky side where we've got depth, so, but it is a final. Yeah, like, I'd only just got back up to the change rooms after I got out, and then I heard another cheer and I was like, oh no, and that's when I think Stare got out first ball. But
she has put pressure back on the Diamonds. Back-to-back wickets for Schofield and delight for the Vipers.
We like to make things difficult for ourselves. I've mentioned before, and a lot of people have said it, we do bat all the way down our order and we're all very capable with the bat, but you'd obviously rather not do it down that lower end. And I just hoped it wasn't going to repeat of the previous year. We really stumbled in the last Rachael Heyhoe-Flint final, and we were about 110 for 8 and we managed to scramble to just about a score, and I hoped it wouldn't be the case.
Oh, this one pitches on, has to be out, is out. All of a sudden now, the Vipers, every ball looks unplayable. Direct hit could be close, maybe run out here. Is run out. What a piece of fielding. The Vipers have turned this game on its head. They're in complete control, the Northern Diamonds.
I think there's a lot of faith in the group, but we've had a really good year and had obviously contributions from all players.
Luckily enough, like I said, we've got depth. Best batted extremely well, Dobbo batted extremely well. Obviously Loz had partnerships with these people as well, so I think we set the tone and we put a total on that we were very happy with.
Toss, and given the treatment, had to go, and does go. Heath into double figures.
Leah Dobson, who's had a very hit and miss season, you know, she'd missed quite a bit of the season through injury and she'd come back and she was looking for runs, and you're so desperate for everyone to do well.
Gives herself space and clears mid off. Dobson there, down towards the pavilion.
And then we had a really good partnership. I think it was between, Bam Bam, Bess was obviously involved in that, Leah Dobson involved in that, so that kind of got us up to a strong position.
It was great to be able to watch her and Bess, who's had an equally good season, just anchor the innings, and it was like the next generation stepping up and doing it when we've relied so heavily on people like Lauren and Jenny Gunn in the past. So it was then calm your nerves again, put the pads back away, and hopefully these two will see us through.
Oh, thumped, absolutely thumped by Bess Heath.
Full to finish and helped away. So 2 boundaries in the over. Heath moves into the 20s.
Bess is a real asset for us down there. She's hits the ball really hard. She was coming off a good run of form. Leah hadn't played too much cricket, so for her it was really pleasing to see somebody obviously step up on that stage.
Pulled hard to finish and finds the gap. Again, Bess Heath.
And up and over. That's a brilliantly timed shot from Leah Dobson. And firm struck again. And this time we'll go all the way. So Bess Heath now really looking to unleash. Dragging it down this time, Schofield, and that's not what the Vipers would have wanted at all. Well, up and over, mid-off.
You probably, obviously in every game you want a few more, but I think we really fought towards the end and put us in a good position heading out to field.
But I'll say, it was nice to actually go out and bat, not face a ball, and get a red inker at Lords.
Ooh, past the edge. Yeah, there is an edge. Lindsay Smith gets McCacken. Sharp work from Winfield Hill as well behind the stumps. She's having a really good 2022.
Seen that before today, haven't we, down the bank. Paige Schofield got a couple of wickets that way. And it's another wicket for the Diamonds. Lizzie Scott has Georgia Alwith.
Out. Full toss, and Maya Bouchier has picked out Lindsay Smith. A simple catch for her, and a big moment in this game. Maya Bouchier was going so well.
Edge, yep, gone. Big moment in this final. Emily Windsor.
Oh, and it is taken straight away. Charlie Dean dragging a short one straight to mid-wicket.
The big moment in this match. There it is right there. Adams went wandering. Levick through the gate. Winfield Hill did the rest. She's gone for 70. On Boulder! Through the gate. Lindsay Smith's elated. Schofield castled for 15. 2 wickets in 3 balls for the Diamonds.
I think I had a discussion with Loz probably 2 overs before the last over, and I thought, who should I go to? And we both looked around and they said the only person, Lindsay had bowled out her overs, very economical 10 overs, and the next best person was Lev, and back to 100%. I spoke to her before. I think I probably told her the over before. I said, are you happy to take that over? And she said, yeah, absolutely. She thrives in them conditions. She's an extreme competitor, and she's been so successful for us over the last 3 years, so I think there was no better person to throw the ball to.
I only got official confirmation when Lindsay bowled the penultimate over. I'd been sort of doing the maths myself whilst we got to the last 10 about how it could play out, and I realised there's a very good chance it's going to be me and Lindsay to finish. We're the 2 most experienced bowlers there. We've done that job a lot during this season. And so yeah, I sort of got myself ready and prepared. Holly doesn't necessarily used to tell you these things, and when Lindsay came on and I figured out that it'd be me to take the last, started to get myself ready for that, hoping it wouldn't get to that, to be honest, but it did, and I was ready if it did.
If I'm being brutally honest, I can't really remember that last over. It was all just a blur. I kept thinking to myself, what on earth am I going to say if we lose 3 in a row?
Through the offside early in the over. Levick here. Help down the ground. It's going to have to be 1 for a moment. They consider 2, but that's just not on. Nearly an overthrow, and overthrow it is. Well,
to be honest, when that overthrow happened, there was a carbon copy that happened in a previous domestic fixture with the Sunrisers. There was overthrows from Maddie Villiers, and 2 fielders came diving, and it was all we talked about in training that week about how could you do such a thing when you're that close. And then when I saw Dobbo's got one of the biggest arms in the team, when I saw it going, I was just thinking, oh, what do it? We're gonna ruin it ourselves. We're not gonna get beat again by a team. We're gonna ruin it ourselves. And I've never been more thankful to see a diving Phoebe Turner just clean it up and manage to stop it. And we just had a moment where I think we all looked at each other, especially the older ones, and we were just calm everyone. All we've talked about all year is who can stay the calmest wins, and it was just having a moment to reset and calm and swear at Dobbo later.
What is going on? Surely this is not going to happen to us again. How have we done it? But it's one of nerves. There was nerves at the start of the game, and we've never ever been able to take it to the final over before, so there's always going to be nerves. But luckily Phoebe Turner knew how to dive and back up, so luckily stopped it for us.
it's high. It's hanging in the air towards mid-wicket, and it's taken! Emma Marlowe, the teenager, had to hold her nerve, had to take the catch, did take the catch.
You're starting to dare to dream, yeah. I was very thankful that Marlowe looked really calm underneath. I don't think I could have looked that calm as an 18-year-old in a Lord's final with an absolute skyer catch, but she made it look easy, and it was another sigh of relief and another, okay, I just need to keep ticking these balls off now, because we're on our way to win this, and it is 100% ours to lose. So that was another tick in my mind that I've got through it.
I think it's never done till the game's finished. Until the last ball's bowled, you don't know who's going to win or lose. They still had a chance to win, but it was going in our favour.
Through the offside and finds a gap. The Vipers are alive still.
Yeah, when Lauren Bell came out, and she probably won't mind me saying, she's a tail ender herself like me, and I was confident that I could see it home against a tail. I think you've not been in these positions before. Vipers are so strong batting, they hardly ever get to their tail, and I knew it was a tall ass. And then to see her absolutely crunch her forward, I think is the best shot I've ever seen her play. I was beginning, that's the first time in the over that it kicked in that we could actually lose.
Again, I just ran up to Lev and just basically asked her if she was all right. Like, one of the ways that I go and speak to bowlers or certain bowlers is by having a laugh and a joke with them, helping them to relax. And I just went, the most important person in that moment was Lev, because she was the one bowling the over. So I just asked her, reassured her, and asked her what her plan was for the next ball, and told her not to worry about that last ball because we bowl leg spin, don't we? So them balls happen.
Hit with a spin again. Tries to go across the line this time. Gets off strike. She'll want to come back for two here. Does come back for two. Will she take it? Outside the off stump. Hammering it out to deep cover and cut off. They're going to be happy with one. It's going to be a run out as well. So not only do they only get the single, Bell's been run out in the deep, which means they'll need a 6 from the last ball.
I was very happy to see the next ball go straight out to Bam. Bess Heath, she's an absolute rocket in the field. I knew she would throw her body behind anything, so there was never any danger that was going to the boundary. And she's got a very smart head on her shoulders, knows exactly what to do. So I just thought that was just going to be a couple of runs. The run out was all the more sweeter, and it gave us another boost that this is ours, and we're so close to the finish line now.
I don't want to say it, but I think we had it. All Lev needs to do was make sure she kept her foot behind the line and didn't bowl it over waist height, really.
So I was stood at the top of that mark for the last ball, and I was just saying, just bowl it anywhere on the stumps. If you bowl a wide now, like, I cannot forgive myself, let alone the rest of the team, so just get it anywhere on the stumps.
A boundary for a super over, a 6 to win it. Down the ground she goes, Charlotte Taylor. They have to come back and see what they can do. It'll be moot though. It'll be game over. It is game over. The Diamonds, after falling short in 2020 and 2021, are the Rachael Heyhoe-Flint Trophy winners in 2022. They get the job done by 3 runs. They held their nerve when it mattered most in the final 5 overs. They are worthy winners, Lydia Greenway.
They absolutely are, Colo. They have been brilliant today.
Holly's since told me back that the final ball, when Dobson throws it in, I've taken the cleanest one-handed pickup I've ever done in my life and took the stumps off. All I remember doing was just make sure you punch them stumps to the floor and the ball is dead, because I've seen those games where they keep running and we're all celebrating. So I was just making sure first and foremost that the ball was dead, and then it hit me when the people literally hit me that we'd won. And I just stood in those finals for the last 3 years and cried my eyes out for the wrong reasons, and I got to the final ball and I was like, I don't even feel teary, this is amazing. And then I just could not stop crying and the tears came. So it was an incredible feeling, and the crowd, to say we were down south, sounded very northern in that moment. It was just what dreams are made of.
It was an amazing feeling, to be honest. Like, we've obviously never had that feeling before, and it's something that I want to experience as much as I possibly can.
Lev really held on nerve, and then them scenes at the end, the girls I was so happy for them, so pleased that, you know, all the effort that they put in throughout the year, and it was exactly what they deserved. And, you know, we've obviously been to, you know, 2 finals before that, and that heartache of not quite getting over the line, I think that really had a little bit more fire in the belly, especially kind of being at Lords as well.
I'm extremely proud of this team, the way they've gone around their cricket this summer, and I basically told them, let's go and celebrate because we deserve this. And yeah, I was just dead proud of them.
It was a lot of we deserve that, and Holly's really good at allowing people to enjoy the moment, and she was like, do not feel embarrassed to take in every moment of this. Cry your tears you need to cry, hug your people you need to hug, and then we're having a great night tonight because it's the last time we're seeing each other this season. It's something I never thought I was ever going to do. I was very happy in my office job for many years, and playing cricket was a side thing. And to even think about playing at Lords was a stupid dream to ever have, because it doesn't happen for female players, let alone domestic players. And so I really let that moment sink in, and I took every part of it in, and like I said, I cried unrelentlessly at the end. I couldn't stop it, and it was great. Like, so many girls were happy for me, and that was a lovely feeling that, like, 'cause I've been around and I've been quite a stalwart in that team for a while. It was lovely to have your teammates really behind you, and Loz came over and we had a hug, and she was just like, been 20 years, because we played together for so long, and was like, yeah, and it was just, doesn't get much better in occasion. It's great coming second in a competition year on year, and it shows you're consistent, but it's awful to be stood there watching another team pick up a trophy, and the Vipers are being so dominant. You sort of, if you're going to win one of these competitions, you want to beat them to prove you are the best, and we beat them here at Headingley in the group stages, but it means nothing if you can't do it on the big stage. So it was all the more sweet, and it felt, especially the group of girls has been really consistent for the last 3 years, it felt like just finally reward for what we all deserve.
Support that we get from our friends and family, and then being able to come to Lords and experience that win with us is, yeah, it's really special. Like, I take a lot of pride in what I do, and having my parents and my auntie and uncle and friends follow me, I think, and for them to be there to experience that win and to have gone through all the emotions with all the other finals we've been in, but also the emotions of that game, because it was such a roller coaster of a game. I think, yeah, it was really special to be able to have moments with them after the game.
My parents got to come to the game. They don't often travel to the away games. It's a bit of a trek getting down to London, and I was so thankful that they could be there, because there's no one that's put up with me more or done more for me in my career than my parents. And a couple of my friends came down as well, and to be able to go over and hug my mum after the final is something I could only dream of, and it was their win as much as it was my win. They've watched me cry on the side of a lot of cricket pitches when I've got a silver medal around my neck, so it was great to finally do it. Not with the gold medal, it's still silver, which really wound me up. It just says winner on it, but it's still a silver medal. But with the trophy, it was just as much their day as it was mine.
Yeah, I think there's towards the end, when I think we went over to one of the stands, and there was kind of massive picture with all the friends and family, and you look back in that picture and think there's so much support, and to have all their parents and relatives down, and brothers, sisters, etc., it just showed that it was real team effort, and obviously the wider team is as important than the team that directly goes out in the field.